Infinite loop. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look at how the sausage is made. I got some feedback that was a lot of people asking, hey, how'd you make your startup for the rest of us agent? So I thought it'd be fun just to take a quick look together at how it actually works. It's really, really simple. If you haven't seen Easybeam before, Easybeam is an AI agent building service that you use to build AI agents with these no code steps in this graphical interface. So the last step here is where the magic happens. This is just a really, really simple prompt that has two pieces of data that gets injected into it. So the pieces of data here are the landing page data and then the podcast data. And if you didn't see the agent that I posted last week, the way the agent works is that I'll show it to you at the end of this. So stay tuned. But the way the agent works is that you can chat with it and then you can give it your landing page and then it will look at your landing page and review it as Rob Walling, who is the guy that runs Startups for the Rest of Us. He's a little bit of a celebrity. And then it will give feedback for your landing page based on the last year's worth of podcast episodes of Startup for the Rest of Us that he has released. So let's look at this together. It's really simple. It's really just, there's 4 meaningful steps, right? So the first step that we go through is what we call the knowledge step at Easybeam. So all it means is that there are a year's worth of transcripts that are selected from Rob Walling's, from Startup for the Rest of Us podcast. And this was really easy because Rob hosts the transcripts for all the episodes. So we just have all these episodes selected here, right? So that, if you want to get more technical about it, that is like the RAG lookup, like RAG, retrieval augmented generation. That's a part of that here. If you don't want to focus on it, you don't have to. This is just the episodes being selected as like more data that can be injected into the prompt to enrich it later on, right? This is the first step. It happens really, really quickly. It's all vector lookup. You don't sweat it, but it's really fast. The second step is how we can look up the URL of the landing page, but only when asked. So what we defined here is a step, and that step is look up the URL, and there is a piece of what we call conversational data required. So the conversational data is just the URL. And so all that means is that in this action branch, which will trigger if you're messaging with this AI agent and you say, hey, I have a URL of Easybeam.ai or whatever, that means that, okay, it will identify that conversational data has been defined, that URL, and then it will go down this branch and then do everything you instruct it to, and then go back to the main branch and have that available as data if it exists. So what happens here is that, okay, the user gave the URL, and then it goes to this step, and now it fetches the URL as defined here, and then this is our website step. So website steps will just go to a website and then convert that into Markdown that can be consumed by a LLM. And Markdown is just a fancy text type if you haven't heard about it before. So what it does is that it visits the website and then converts it to text really well so that it can be consumed by an LLM really easily. And so then now we're back to this last step, which is just the prompt, right? So here we just have, we just have the prompt that's like, act like Rob Walling and review this landing page data. There's even a capital A there that shouldn't be there. And then there is like, hey, here's the podcast data, and then OpenAI's 4.0, yes, 4.0 is smart enough where it can just tie this all together and generate a really cool response and feed it to the user. So honestly, 4 steps. This was a Friday evening activity that I then shared on LinkedIn. Oh boy, that's sad to say out loud, but it was really fun and not that hard at all. Right. So we still actually got to look at the agent together. So this is the solo agent. This is the one-off way that we can deploy an agent. And if you don't want to go through all the trouble of actually embedding it into your application, which is a little bit of a hassle, but with really good user experience, you can use our solo agent feature, in which you just take one of the agents you built on Easybeam and then hit deploy, and you have a URL you can share with people. It's really, really convenient. So please analyze Easybeam.ai and tell me how on the web page I can reduce churn. Is that how you spell it? Churn. Great job. Great. So what's going on here in the background is that it's calling the API that we've created and looking up the landing page and then relating it back to the actual relevant episodes that are looked up in the reg database that we're just talking about. So you can see here, it's got like, oh, episode 725, Source for Rest of Us, talks on freemium, etc. And then it actually looked at my landing page and found what it thought it could recommend to it, and then tied everything together. So really small example, but really, really, really powerful and really, 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 really easy.